So you want to or you need to quit drinking alcohol. Maybe you can quit for a few days or a few weeks. Or maybe you can barely make it a day. Or maybe you just plain can't stop. It can be difficult to stop, but it can be even more difficult to stay stopped. But there is good news. If you put some effort into your sobriety and you develop some productive behaviors, you can stop drinking alcohol and stay sober. Stick around, I'm going to explain exactly what this means. Now, one of the problems people have when they try to quit alcohol is they don't make some changes to what they do and how they think. Making these changes doesn't have to be difficult. However, it does require consistency and help from people that know what to do. Of course, if you are stopping alcohol, you do need to see a doctor first, as quitting, it can be dangerous. Just don't mess around. Go to a doctor. They really are there to help you, and they can help guide you in the right direction to get sober safely. So you managed to get sober. You probably managed to get sober before, but now you need to stay sober. But you don't know what to do next other than just don't drink. I know I didn't. When I got sober, I hadn't developed any of the tools for sobriety yet. I had no idea what would trigger a craving. I needed a set of tools to make sure I didn't drink. So here are some of the things I did and that you can do to start to get yourself into that sober mindset and quit alcohol for good. I've heard many sober gurus talk about how you can quit alcohol without changing the things to do. That's just not true. You will need to change many things you do, especially in those early days. What we're trying to do here is change your perspective towards alcohol to keep you from taking that first drink. The first thing to do after you get sober is to avoid alcohol in places and situations where alcohol is present altogether. Now, this doesn't mean you never get to have fun again, but in that early sobriety, it definitely means you need to tone it way down, at least for now. This is what I had to do to stay sober in those early days until I figured out what I could and couldn't do. I stayed away from triggers. I simply eliminated as many of them as possible. I don't have to eliminate those things anymore. I can go out. I can go hang out with drinking friends. I can do almost all of those things that I used to do when I was still drinking, although I really don't enjoy going to bars anymore. I choose to see those old drinking friends in better places, like on a bike ride or a hike or something like that. So now I'm going to explain exactly what I did and what you should consider doing yourself. Try to either limit or eliminate the alcohol in your home. This includes obviously alcoholic drinks, but also includes other things like mouthwash, cough syrup, vanilla extract, basically anything that contains alcohol. Don't drink non-alcoholic beer or wine. Many non-alcoholic beers and wines, they do contain a little alcohol, usually 0.5%. And there are a few that contain 0%, but it's still best to just stay away, at least in your early sobriety days. Pay attention at restaurants. Ask your server if something contains alcohol. Stay away from it. Here's the way I look at this. A tiny bit of alcohol in my non-alcoholic beer or my tiramisu, is it going to cause me to start drinking like crazy again? I mean, honestly, probably not. But then again, it might. So why not just stay away? I mean, there are so many awesome non-alcoholic choices out there. You could have sparkling water, iced tea, smoothies, infused waters, plain water, the list goes on and on. I'm not a big fan of plain water, so my normal daytime drink is ice water with a lemon. Try to have something handy that you like. Also have a few special occasion no alcohol drinks that you can order when you're going out. Things like Thai iced tea, a Roy Rogers, a Shirley Temple, I don't know, a kiwi ginger spritzer, or even just your favorite soda. Just be careful to make sure there is no alcohol in the drink. So what about bars and restaurants? Well, it's important when living a sober life that you don't have to put limitations on where you can or can't go. But in early sobriety, you should stay out of bars unless there is a legitimate non-alcoholic reason to go there. If you're going out to eat, don't sit in the bar. Wait for a table in the restaurant. When going shopping for groceries, try to stay out of the alcohol and beer aisles. Yeah, I know it's not so easy, but just try to avoid them. Have a game plan for events where alcohol is present, like show up early, leave early, bring your own transportation so you can leave whenever you need to. And if you can, just avoid these stressful situations, at least for now. Early sobriety is about developing a sober mindset. To start to develop this mindset, you need to change those behaviors that contributed to drinking alcohol. And in your early days of sobriety, that means learning what to avoid. In the long run, avoiding situations where alcohol is present is not the way to stay sober, but if you're recently sober, avoidance is a good idea. Avoiding certain situations is going to help you learn a much different way to live. You will learn how to live a less stressful, sober life. But even in sobriety, these stressful things, they're going to happen. So you need to know what to do without taking a drink of alcohol. Try not to let stressful things overwhelm you. Try to understand that you may only have a limited amount of control over the situation that's causing the stress. Try to take care of only the things you have control over. Try to take care of things just a little bit at a time. A little work on a daily basis, it's going to produce huge results. You need to be realistic when getting and staying sober. There's no way to completely avoid seeing and being around alcohol. Even with the right tools, you may find you still crave an alcoholic drink, even long after you become sober. Understand that this may happen for no reason. You need to have the right tools to deal with the craving when it happens. The best way to develop a sober mindset to successfully avoid alcohol is to first develop a life where alcohol is not an issue, and second, have a game plan for those situations where alcohol does become an issue. Have someone that knows your situation available to call. Have something non-alcoholic available to drink. Have somewhere to go like a recovery meeting. Try meditation or prayer. Usually one just needs like 15 minutes to get over a craving. As your sobriety continues, you will learn how to deal with these difficult situations. These are just a few of the things I did in early sobriety to stay sober. The important thing is that if you're trying to stay sober, you need to remember that sobriety must be your top priority. Sobriety is not just about not drinking alcohol. It's about getting to the point where alcohol is just not an issue. I simply have no desire for it. For me, it's not hard work. In fact, staying sober for me is not work at all anymore. Sobriety has just become a part of me. As long as I stay aware that alcohol is not an option. If you want to learn how to enjoy life without alcohol being an issue so you can concentrate on the more important things in life, go to TalkSober.com. Here you can book a private call with Marcus and myself and join our 30-day program, which will teach you step by step how to develop a new perspective towards life and alcohol. This new perspective is key to a successful sobriety. Our easy-to-follow, practical program was developed by us based on our journeys into sobriety, and we're going to teach you what works. Now, you do need to really want to stay stopped and be willing to put the effort in for us to help you. But if you really want to stay sober, we can help you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the inside.